ThekarmicDF.
What is up, you guys? It's the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. I have a little visitor, Stella. Hi. That's with me due to the weather. She's freaking out. But anyway, this video this video is going to be about basically we're going to dissect what people are really saying when they are, I'm covering two categories today, angry or when they are shutting down. Because the complexity of humans and how they work their minds are just, that would take me way too long for just one video. So I'm going to focus on the ones that really make us internally go, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? When we just, go into this spiral of thinking that we're broken due to the behavior of someone else. So if you are like in a relationship, or you have friends that do this, or family members that lash out in like heavy anger, or if they are people that just completely shut down and then like ghost you, stop speaking, avoid hard conversations, then that is what this video is going to be about. It's understanding what's really going on, what they're really saying, but not actually communicating to you. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm super excited to make this video. I wish people saw through my eyes, and this is my first way of being able to show you how to really tap into the complexities of people so that we stop internalizing it and we stop thinking that it's an us thing when in reality it's a them thing. Like I'm literally hearing in my mind right now, hurt people, hurt people. So if that's something you're into, please leave a like on my video. I appreciate the support so much. Comment, share, subscribe, and as always, let's get into it. Okay, so considering that we live in a society that's mental health is severely on the rise, especially once the lockdown happened, mental health was getting even worse. A lot of people will resort to anger, and anger stems from either fear or pain. I mean, you could argue in the comments that it's something else, but it's predominantly fear or pain, because it is basically the avoidance of heavy and hard emotions. And so when you are not dealing with the complexities of what's going on in your own life, say that you're worried about your relationship and you're worried about money and you're worried about whatever it is, but you're not actually dealing with it and you're pushing it down, that energy needs to go somewhere. And so a lot of times when we don't understand how to deal with our emotions, and we were potentially emotionally stunted in childhood or just emotionally stunted because of a traumatizing relationship, then we are more likely to lash out because we are stuck in whatever trauma it was that we had originally started. And I don't know if you can hear the storm, but whew, boy, I feel like it's just saying like, yes, girl, anger, let's talk about it. But when people lash out at you, I feel like the best way to do this would be to give an example. So let's say that you're in a relationship and your spouse sees that someone commented on a photo and, I don't know, made an emoji that could be considered suggestive, whatever. And your spouse flips the hell out and they're like, how dare you disrespect me? How dare you? You're making me look bad. Why are you talking to this person? Are you cheating? Blah, blah, blah. So they're yelling at you, right? They're fueled up. What is this really telling us? Because we're immediately going to go into that trauma response of like, oh my God, they're yelling at me. What did I do wrong? How do I fix this? And so should I delete this person? Should I delete the emoji? And this can be applied to any situation. I'm just picking this one because this was the one that popped into my head. But it's going beyond what it is that they're saying. Because when you're in a place of anger, you're coming from a survival mode place. You've reached this maximum where you can't regulate your emotions anymore. And so if you can't regulate your emotions, then you're going to project them out because you don't know how to feel your own emotions. So in the case of flipping out and thinking that you're cheating because of an emoji, what they're really telling you is, I'm afraid that you're going to leave me. I'm afraid that you're disrespecting me. Maybe I had a past relationship, more than likely, that they either cheated or they flirted, and so that old wound is coming up for me, and I am projecting it out onto you because I haven't actually healed the past trauma, and so now you're getting the brunt of something that I haven't dealt with yet. So in this example, you're seeing both pain and fear coming up. The pain of, what if I lose that person? It would break my heart, it would devastate me. Or the pain of, this has happened to me before or something similar, and so that pain is coming back up for me to deal with, and I'm not dealing with it properly. And the fear, will I lose my spouse because of this person who's posting an emoji? Will I lose everything? And we like to stack these things up, right? So it's like, oh my God, I'm being cheated on. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my spouse. Oh my God, I have no control over the situation. You can even go as deep as, they might be telling you subconsciously without meaning to, that they've never felt like they've had control over any situation. And so, and that's a big one with people that are prone to anger and prone to explosive energy. It's that they don't feel like they have control. And so when you see these people like the angry Karens on TikTok that are funny because they're flipping out, in reality, what they're actually showing you is that I don't feel like I'm in control over my own life. And I feel like I'm in a survival mode of fight, freeze, or fawn. And so my option to try and gain back the control is to project. It's to be aggressive. It's kind of like a primal thing where, like, because I keep seeing like a gorilla like puffing up their chest. It's like instinctual. It's like, I don't know how to use any actual tools to solve what's going on currently. I'm being triggered in a primal nature, and so I'm lashing out at you. And in reality, when these people, when anyone is screaming at you, when they are yelling, it's because they've reached an emotional nerve that they don't know how to regulate, and so they are putting it onto you. And so this is why we need to start to begin to understand why people behave the way that they do, so that we can stop internalizing their behavior and thinking that it's something to do with us. We are, unfortunately, especially in the age of technology, we have narcissistic tendencies because we think everything's about us, because we're so disconnected from one another. And so we have this primal nature to protect ourselves at all costs. And unless you're working on that and healing that, or you've had a healthy life, then you're more than likely going to experience these things and do these things. We're all, I used to be someone who lashed out a lot back before I realized that, the only person that's in control of me is me. And so when someone is verbally attacking you, when they're coming after you, and, they're going after who you are as a person, those people that try to like bring you down a level, try to make you feel bad about yourself when they're calling you, I don't know, you're a hoe, you're this, whatever the word is that hurts you, right? They're trying to bring you down to the pain that they are feeling. Again, hurt people. So in the circumstance of people that are angry and react, and they're reactive, what you need to understand is that they are emotionally stunted and they don't know how to self-regulate. So the next time someone attacks you, in that moment, it's probably going to be hard to just be like, oh, this person is coming from a place of pain and this has nothing to do with me. It's not that easy. It's going to take time and it's going to take practice. But remind yourself, either in that moment or after, when you can regulate yourself as well, that was not personal. That was them not knowing how to deal with their emotions because they never tried to learn. They were never taught how to. And so because they're coming from this primal fear state, or this level of pain that they've stacked up without dealing with, they are trying to find a release. Like I'm seeing like a cannonball, like just popping out. It's like once that buildup has happened, there's no room for that energy to go anywhere because they're not trying to deal with their emotions. And so it comes out in this toxic way. But what they're really telling you is, I'm in pain, or I'm in a place of fear. I don't know how to regulate. And so I'm going to project that onto you. It has nothing to do with you. And part 2 of this, and if you want a part 3, give me examples of like things that you've come across, and I'll try to break that down for you as well, because I have a lot of friends that come to me, and especially clients that come to me that are like, why are they behaving this way? And I see what's really going on. So let me know if you want a part 2 in this video, and I'll totally do it. But when it comes to people that are emotionally avoidant, the ones that you either you give them a boundary or you finally speak your truth, where it's like, I don't feel like I'm being treated properly, or I don't agree with how you're behaving, or, you know, whatever it is that you've said that makes them like either stop talking to you, talk to you less, all of a sudden maybe they're not sharing feelings anymore. Now it's become surface level, or they just straight up left your life. Like they're just gone. And you go, again, it's like, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? And then you repeat this cycle of like over giving to try and prove yourself. Reel it back in and understand that when people shut down, again, it's coming from a place of survival mode. It's coming from a place of, I don't know how to deal with this, being like, maybe it's you've called them on their shit and they don't like conflict. Maybe they're conflict avoidant. And so they're going, oh, I'm afraid. Maybe they're even doing it from a place of love. I've had people that have ghosted me from a place of love, which isn't a cool thing to do. Don't ever ghost somebody without explaining yourself. It's rude. But people have ghosted me from a place of love because they knew that they couldn't be what I needed, or they couldn't show up for me in the way that I needed. And so they left my life. And back then I took it as personal, but then looking back at it, what I realized was they did not have the tools to have the harder conversations or to face what they see as the negative parts of themselves, because society has deemed anything other than perfection as flaws. And so we believe that if we're not perfect, that we are, like, I'm seeing like a wound being poked at, and I don't know why. Spirit, explain. We think that our triggers and that our flaws make us damaged in some way. Like, I'm being shown the Kardashians and how like it's a completely unrealistic way of thinking that a human female at least should be, right? Like, we're not meant to. And listen, I'm not shitting on anybody that wants to get work done. All that I want to say is, before you get work done, ask yourself why you're getting work done. Are you doing it because you feel like it's going to make you feel prettier for yourself, or are you doing it because you feel like you're not good enough? Like, that's all I'm saying. But the Kardashians are a really great example of people that are just not realistic to live up to, right? And so we have this inherent belief that we are not perfect because society's giving us these unrealistic expectations. And so we all, on a grand scale, because most of us are normal, we're not celebrities, we're not the 1%, right? So we just kind of bury the parts of us that we think aren't perfection, when we all have parts of us that are not perfection. And then in the case of people shutting down, what they're really telling you is, I don't feel like I meet societal standards of perfection. I don't know how to communicate my vulnerabilities. And so instead of trying to have this conversation that, again, I don't have the skills for, I'm going to turn it all off so that I don't have to look at it. I don't have to deal with it. And that's very prevalent. And this is not an attack, but it's very prevalent with men, or, you know, male energy, but mostly men, because society is especially hard on them. I mean, I recently saw a movie where this man got slapped in the face by his mom, and she said, "Stop crying, you're grown." And it was the most disgusting thing that I've ever seen, because men especially have it hard when it comes to tapping into their emotions, because it's seen as weakness, it's seen as being a woman and a pansy, and it's just, I won't go down that rabbit hole. You know. When people are in a rage, or if they just shut down, we're quick to internalize that and think, well, what's wrong with me that makes them behave that way? But in reality, they're subconsciously telling you about their own inability to manage their big emotions. They don't have the tools. So what we believe to be personal to us usually isn't personal at all. It's the stacking of unhealed trauma manifesting itself as a survival response, because they weren't taught proper techniques to handle their feelings, or they never dealt with their pain in the first place, and so they're still living in it. So more often than not, what we think is personal is not actually personal at all. And you can take any relationship and actually really dive in. I think one thing that'd be great for you in terms of relationships moving forward and understanding the bigger picture of why people behave the way they do is having a general idea of what their relationships have looked like, what their childhood and upbringing looked like, what is their relationship to their parents now, what are their friendships like now, what are their relationships been like if they're a friend of yours, so you can just see the pattern, because that's the main theme here, is that it's all patterns. We all live in patterns. And I've said this in prior videos, you know, if you're someone who has constantly dated people that are emotionally avoidant, then you are more than likely an anxious attachment type, because what you're doing is you're seeking approval and validation from somebody. And because in reality, the only person who can do that is yourself, you're going to constantly attract someone that mirrors what it is that you're lacking. And so you're going to find someone that's emotionally avoidant. So you keep asking the question of, why am I not enough? Why am I not enough? Or maybe someone who yells at you often. And then you go, why are people cruel to me? Why are people cruel to me? But again, it's always bringing it back to, what is this telling me about myself? We are all avoiding ourselves. And so when we do that, we actually tell everybody else a story about ourselves. And if you can become someone who just observes, right? Like, I used to be someone, and I can probably still be, but I used to be someone that was like the center of attention. I was always just the one that always talked. I mean, I'm a Gemini moon. Your girl likes to talk. I can't make a 10-minute video to save my life. It's always long. I've tried. But I've learned that the best way to learn about people is to be quiet, to be silent, and to observe. Because people, without even meaning to, will tell on themselves. Watch people and watch how they talk about other people, for instance. If you're in a group of friends, right, and all of your friends are sitting there and they're just talking crap about other people, they're already telling you that they're going to be talking crap about you too. You are not innocent in all of that, because that is how they behave. And that is also telling you, again, bird's eye perspective, people that talk crap about other people don't like themselves. And so they think, if I put the focus on other people, then you won't actually notice what I perceive as my flaws, my limits, my whatever it is. That's very prevalent in female groups, at least. I can't speak for men. I've honestly got along better with men just because they're more to the point, and I appreciate that. But people tell on themselves. And the sooner that you can realize what it is that they're really saying, the more you can go inwards and go, this is not about me. Now, obviously, there are times where it is about you, because obviously it takes two, right? And people are our greatest teachers. They are our mirrors. So while someone is ghosting you, you might also have to realize that you've been, let's say, drawing in broken birds because you feel like you're not enough. And so you pull in someone. Again, it's just this cycle that continues to repeat. But getting to the main message of this video as a whole, with the people that are very angry or the people that just shut down and shut you out, it's them telling you their traumas. It's them telling you their limiting beliefs about themselves. When someone is attacking you, they're telling you that I don't feel like I'm in control of my life. I don't feel like I'm being heard. And so I have to raise my voice so that I can feel. Again, I see the ape like puffing up their chest. It's a primal instinct. I don't feel like I'm in control. I need to gain back control, so I'm going to attack you. Or someone who's shutting down. I don't feel like I'm in control. I don't feel like I'm safe, and so I'm going to shut down. And when we can start to see why people behave the way they do, we can begin to understand them, and we can stop internalizing it and thinking that something's wrong with us. There might be something to learn in terms of why you keep attracting those same types of people, but when you begin to learn who you are, you will stop attracting those people as much. You'll just see them from time to time, and you'll be able to go, oh, I see where that's coming from. I see where that wound is coming from. You will then understand the psyche of everyone else, and you will stop taking it to heart and going, what's wrong with me? Because even if you are to some degree the cause-ish of them reacting, you're still learning about them. You're still learning about what's not healed. You're still learning about what they're really saying underneath the surface, what it is that they can't really say. Because if we were all honest, and I'm going to sum it up with this, if we were all truly honest, the person who's screaming should really be saying, I don't feel safe right now. I don't feel like I can be vulnerable right now. I don't feel like I'm in control right now. I feel like I need help. I feel like I need support. But we don't know how to do that because we live in this society where that's deemed inappropriate. You have to be strong. You have to be tough. Don't have feelings. Go, go, go. And so when you can learn what they're trying to tell you, but they don't have the ability to, then you could stop taking it to heart. Again, with the emotionally avoidant person that shuts down, what they're really saying is, I don't feel safe having emotional conversations. I don't feel safe opening up to others. And so my only way to get through this is to not do it at all. That's what they're really telling you. And that's why the psychology of people is so interesting and fascinating and can help you free yourself from thinking that everything's about you and actually go inwards to find out what it is that really is bothering you, and then you can heal and move on from there. But people's behavior is not, you're not in control of anybody but yourself. And the moment that you accept that, the moment you can realize what they're truly telling you and not just how they're reacting, because it's not about you, it's about them. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope this was helpful. If you want a part 2 of maybe other interactions, other ways people behave that I haven't thought of, leave it down in the comments. I love the psychology of the mind and I would love to break it down for you. But I hope this video helped. Let me know. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. It helps my channel so much and I appreciate it so much. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I put out my videos. I usually do 3 a week, and I will see you guys next time. I love you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.